Welcome to Gym Owner Freedom. I am Scott Carpenter, and I am a former broke, struggling, frustrated, and overworked gym owner that felt stuck no matter what I did to try and improve the business. Once I realized that the answer wasn't what I thought it was, just getting more clients, and after really doing the math on acquisition and churn rates, I realized I wasn't even playing a winnable game to begin with. With my current price structure, mathematically, there was no way I could afford to pay my staff so I could scale up and out of the business, that I can have the time, the money, the impact, and the freedom that I always knew I was capable of. Once I learned how to add value by selling transformational programs to people who needed more than just workouts, everything changed in my life. Today, I own 6 gyms that all run without me, and I am free to pursue my passion projects and work just because I love to, not because I have to. And if that's a goal that we mutually share together, then this is the show for you. I'm going to teach you the framework to make way more money with less clients and open up a world of possibilities to you. Subscribe, leave a review, and tune in every week. It'll change your life. I promise you that. All right, everybody, we'll officially start the town hall, whether you're watching in the Zoom room or on Facebook Live. Throw in the comments, unmute yourself if you need to on Zoom, but we're going to go through it. So I wanted to call this just because, man, experiences are all over the place when it comes to paid ads and lead generation. This year was a lot different for a lot of people. Some people, it was very easy. Other people ran into just a lot more challenges than they ever have before. Whether it was, maybe cost per lead was still low, but getting them in and the rate of no-shows was just so high, and it's very frustrating. So a lot of things change. A lot of things are changing. There's a lot of reasons for it. It wasn't like it was 2 years ago. 2 years ago was a lot easier. I think we can all agree on that one. Again, market dependent though. And I just ran into this, was talking to another gym owner the other day, and he's been pretty successful, right? And it's just funny that this happens all the time because I'm a worrier. I stay up at night sometimes. And this gym owner has gotten himself out of the gym for the most part. And he came in on a day where he's normally not there. And of course, what does he hear from clients? And if you've done this and you've worked for yourself, you're scaling back your hours in the gym. No doubt you have those clients who are just like, must be nice to be the boss and only show up to work when you want to, right? We've all had that happen if you're spending less time in the gym. And it just cracked me up, and I had to put it in there because this is the reality. Even if you're doing well, even if you're really profitable, even if you're kind of largely off the floor, and maybe you're just doing sales, or you're trying to hand that off, gym ownership, any kind of small business ownership is stressful because you can be doing very well, but it's always that worry that shit, is it going to last? And I have had this, you guys know, I've got multiple gyms. I still get this occasionally. Now, thankfully, I've been smart with what I've done with the process of my business to turn it into passive income. And that provides a lot of pad for me. But a lot of us don't have that developed yet. And this just can hit anybody, whether you're doing well or not so well. And that's just always prevalent for me. Those of you who don't exactly know my story, I'm not going to get into the details on it. But guys, I have been this when I wasn't making any money as well. So, and I've been through the ringer. I had multiple gyms. I screwed them all up. And I had to raise my firstborn son. I barely saw him. I was at work 7 days a week. I was in there at 4:45, 4:30 sometimes to train this client, John, who I couldn't stand, but I needed the money. And I lost a lot of years. And I learned from that, though. And one thing that I always shied away from was marketing. Because number one, marketing is a lot of bullshit sometimes, right? It's kind of disappointing, the stuff that actually works. You're like, does anybody buy this shit? Can't people see through these crappy offers? No. The answer is no. And I always shied away from learning it. I'm not very attuned to it naturally. And it took me a lot of work to learn marketing and to get decent at it. And again, there's so many different ways you can go about it. It's just one thing that I avoided a lot. I'm sure a lot of you guys can be similar. But at the end of the day, when push came to shove and I was in these awful spots right here, it came down to two choices. I can either evolve and get past that and confront what I'm not good at and what I get better at, or I can slowly bleed out and die. And those were the two choices. And I don't know what next year, the year after, is going to be for us in the gym industry. It's changed. Holy cow. Pre-pandemic through today, how many changes and disturbances had them been? And even before that, look at Meta ads in 2016, 17, 18. It was like shooting fish in a barrel. And it's not now. You can still get a low cost per lead, but holy cow. I had a conversation with another gym owner in New York. He went 17 for 17 on no-show appointments on his paid ads and bookings. 17 for 17. And it's not negligence. This guy, Dave, he usually watches on Facebook Live, so I can't see if he's in the Zoom. But man, he's dialed too. He is dialed in, and it happens. So it's interesting. So I wanted to call this 2025 to see how you guys are doing, to show you what I have in plan for 2025 and what you guys are seeing too. Anybody read this book, The One Thing by Gary Keller? It's one of my favorite books. And he's got this question in there that anytime you're worried or you need to move forward, you don't know how, or you're just stuck or whatever it is, what's the one thing such that by doing it, everything else becomes easier or unnecessary? What's the one thing? And normally that one thing is what we don't want to do, that maybe it causes anxiety. We avoid it. We'll do everything but that one thing. I can't tell you how many times that I see gym owners tinker around with the newest shirts and swag, or their fulfillment program, or just fine-tuning these little things, or buying that extra piece of equipment, and it's totally unnecessary. The problem that I've heard by far the most from all of you this year is leads, 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 leads. That's it. Now, that is the most uncomfortable thing. Sometimes it takes a lot of trial and error. Markets are different. What works in your market and your neighborhood might not work for somebody else's. This is the difficult thing. I shied away from it for a long time, and I said I'm not going to do it anymore. So now I've actually gotten decent at it, but it's always changing. It's always changing. You have to be on top of this. You have to be on top of it. And right now is a very good time. It's November 21st today. 2025 is almost here. It's right around the corner. This is a really good time to work on this kind of stuff, because in general, we're going to have a little bit lower attendance through the holidays. You're going to have more days off from the gym. And at the end of the day, Q4 is the time to pull ahead. It's the time to do the things to work on the business, not in the business, because if not, your 2025 is going to be the exact same as your 2024. So what's different? And an important thing is to really connect with, where are you going? This stuff is not fun on the marketing angle unless you get good at it. Then it becomes pretty fun. But where are you going? I know it's easy to settle in and, hey, I'm just trying to get through this month. I'm just trying to get through next month. But we do that for years. So we really need to think, where are you going? What do you want out of your business for your lifestyle? And at the end of the day, we're probably all relatively similar to some degree or another. Most of us are probably not doing it to drive a Lambo, right? Most of us probably want to live just a more comfortable lifestyle, to not have to worry, right? To have disposable income, not have that be on our minds. Like to have a nice house for your family, probably paid off, right? Reasonable work hours. We don't want to have to jump in there if something goes bad, right? We want to be able to have more employees to get more leverage on our time. You probably want to take your family on 2 or 3 nice vacations where you don't have to always worry about the budget options. If you're going to Disney World, can you stay in the Magic Kingdom or whatever it is on those hotels, instead of just piecing it together? So we just don't want to have to worry about those things. And we want to provide opportunity for our family. Be nice to have a paid off home and a car, right? Of course. And you probably want to grow and evolve as a business owner. There's a lot of you who also want to grow online businesses in addition to your brick and mortar, right? Chris, you're one of those, right? So you want to grow in different ways. For some of you, it might be multiple locations. Otherwise, some of you are just, no, I'm good with this. I just want to be a coach and a leader of my movement. But the main thing that we all want is to be worry-free. It's not that, which, shit, that's hard to get away from, okay? But if there's one thing that makes everything easier or unnecessary, it's getting people butts in the seats, right? And that's what we want. We want to sleep like a baby. I've been in both places where I'm sleeping great and other ones where I've got one eye open. This is what I prefer. So choice is yours, guys. Just this might be a little harsh. Evolve or die. You also have stay the same. But again, over time, you can lose ground. The bottom line is I want to challenge you to really attack your marketing. So I want to hear from you guys. Feel free to unmute yourself, but at least throw it in the chats. Okay. What are your biggest problems with your leads right now? What are you experiencing? And Craig, you can fill stuff in if it's hard because I can't see the Facebook stuff. There's only so much I can look at on my screen at one time. But what are the biggest problems that you're having with your leads right now? Show percentages with Facebook leads. Yeah, that can be abysmal. Lack of bookings and no shows. Okay, so you're having a hard time getting. Chris, is that from you're getting the lead and then you can't book it, or is it just like, hey, I can't get any response on these leads?
Yeah, so we're getting a good lead flow. We have a company that's managing our leads for us, but when you look at the percentage of the leads that are actually getting booked every week, it's quite low. And the ones who do book are no showing.
Yeah. Another response, they don't respond. Yeah, so it's the same things. How's your guys' cost per leads, those that are running paid ads? And we're going to talk on paid ads and organic ads, guys, because they're both necessary. You need paid and you need organic in today's environment. You can't just rely on Meta because you could have a few rough months. No doubt. Is cost per lead an issue for you guys too, or is it still pretty decent? It's real. What I see, really market dependent, and how well those ads are being run too. So anything else that you guys want to add? So it's mainly bookings, no shows, response rates. Okay. That's kind of similar to what I've been seeing. So and also on organic, I've had my website leads have declined a little bit. Some locations they're the same, some locations they're down. I don't know if your organic leads coming in from phone or web leads have gone down either. Chris, you've been getting a consistent CPL, about $20. Not bad. Not bad at all. So that's good. And that's it, guys. A lot of times the issue is not cost per lead. It's just everything after. So we've seen our website leads decline a bit. Same thing, lead nurture and making calls can be draining or operationally challenging. We all know speed to lead, speed to lead, speed to lead, speed to lead. That being said, that's easier said than done, particularly if you don't have somebody dedicated that's their full-time job. It can be difficult to get to people within minutes. We all know we should, but doing it is another factor. One thing that we struggle with is sometimes it's hard to stay on top of your marketing calendar, your content, your emails. Like it takes a lot of work up front so you don't fall behind. And push comes to shove, that's not getting done, right? Old paid ad strategies don't work like they used to. The big one that you guys always said, no shows for consultations are soul sucking, right? And the response rates from ads in the bookings. So ads are more expensive by CPM. They just are. Cost per leads can still be decent though. And then this is all getting a positive return on your investment out of ads. It's very challenging. Your return on ad spend can be very challenging to get to. So I'm seeing the same thing, right? And there are kind of three issues that we're going to cover and talk about. One doesn't seem like it fits, but we're going to hit your offers right up front. Okay, your front end offers. Number two, your paid lead strategy, and number three, your organic lead strategy. So we're going to try and cover it all. We'll keep this as tight as we can. But why are we going to talk about offers when we talk about leads? Well, one is like so many of us just aren't playing a winnable game, and we're going to get into the math on it. And if your front end offer is a $300 a month membership, and that's all you're getting up front, the math on your marketing might not work out. And that can make it way more challenging. And those are the people that dabble in paid leads and then get out. Or you just don't really go for it with the ad budget either because the math isn't working for you. So one thing that we've really done that has helped is we win the game by needing less. We need fewer people and we make more money. So let's say you got to bring in $5,000 in new business. Okay. Maybe it's more for you, maybe it's less to grow. Just depends on where you're at, of course. So if your average front end purchase is $300, and maybe you're semi-private, maybe you're group, whatever it is, if your average front end purchase is $300, you're going to need about 16.7 clients sold to make that $5,000 new business goal. So obviously, if they're website leads, you're probably scheduling maybe half of them and closing 90% of them. But if you're running ads, like you guys said, not the case. Not the case. So let's assume you're doing ads, paid ads. Let's assume that you get 100 leads, you're going to close 10% and get them across the line. For some of you, that's high, actually. I've seen a little bit better, but it's not too common quite often. So let's assume you're going to get 10% across the line. So if that's the case, you need 167 leads to hit that 5K in new business. That's a tall order, right? You're going to be spending some money for that, sifting through a lot of turds to get a few nuggets, right? Let's say you're running like a 6-week challenge model, though. So on the front end, you're getting a $599 on it. Okay. Well, that makes it a little bit easier. You can get 8.3 clients, and therefore you need about 83 leads to get that. Now, of course, you have a lot of costs with that too, not just on the ad spend, but you've got it, whoever's doing sales, unless it's you. People will churn out a lot on 6-week challenges. That just happens. They don't continue. So it can be challenging to start building your MRR. So let's take it another one. Here's what we do. We have that's like a good mid-ticket offer, right? The left is if you just have a low ticket offer, you're here. If you have a mid-ticket offer, I'd still like to see that higher than $599 to make your job a lot easier. But you can also have a high ticket. You want all three, okay? So if you're able to collect more on the front end, and I'm not saying everybody's going to buy a high ticket, but let's say you got a high ticket for $2,000 or $3,000, you have a mid ticket somewhere between $599 and $999, and then you still have your low ticket workouts only, which some people will get. But like if we average those 3 types of front end offers together, and you average $1,250 on your front end sale, this changes the math dramatically. So in that case, you only need 4 new clients to get your $5,000 new business goal. Makes it a lot easier. And I'm not saying they're all buying high ticket. You got high, mid, and low. They average out to $1,250. So that's really good math to show you, like, if you have that, you're playing a winnable game at that point. So let's add in ad spend. Let's just assume a $25 cost per lead. Chris, you're getting 20. I have gyms in different markets. So I've got gyms where they're not quite as nice areas, but there's also less competition. And I can get some leads, $12 a lead, which is great, but it's a very spotty neighborhood. Some of those people will be legitimately on crack, right? So it's not all roses, but I also have some in very competitive areas where my cost per lead, it is damn hard to get them under $35 and sometimes closer to $50. I got to really work and run different offers to bring that down and test a lot of different things. So it's definitely, I'm seeing some comments. I'll get to those too. Great. Thanks, guys. Keep them coming. Matt, you mentioned 5 to 8% seems to be what most people run. Are you talking lead to close, Matt? I'm guessing. Savage follow-up with good automation is 9 to 15%. Yes. So I'm giving people the benefit of the doubt on the 10% lead to close. That's good. Matt's seeing 5 to 8%. So if I gave more realistic numbers, these numbers would be even worse. And this is why this game is so freaking hard. So hard. So bottom line is, the ad spend, assuming a $25 cost per lead, yours is going to be higher, right on, or lower, of course. But that shows you your corresponding ad spend needed. If you got a $300 front end purchase, it's $4,200 in ad spend plus the cost to run it if you've got somebody running it, right? You're not making an ROI on that one. In the middle, if you got your mid ticket that you're selling a $599 offer, you're going to need $2,100 a month plus the cost to run it unless you're doing it yourself. And again, I'm giving high numbers benefits of the doubt. These numbers can be almost double. Almost double. And if you have a higher front end purchase around $1,250, Yeah, it's doable. So one of the most important things to run ad games, like put yourself in a winnable situation. And again, that's what I look like at. You ask this question from the one thing multiple times, so in order to win the ad game, what's the one thing such that by doing it, everything else becomes easier and necessary? It's this. It's this. On the right, I'm going to need if I have a blend of high, mid, and low ticket offers, I'm going to need a quarter of the leads that somebody who has just a low ticket offer has. And I will need less than half of what somebody who has just a mid ticket. That's just the math. So that works. Some of you aren't playing a winnable game, and that's the first step. Okay. This is not this town hall meeting is not about the details of that, but a high, mid, and low ticket offer can be built into any kind of business model, right? Caleb, you've done it. Chris, you've done it. Dave, obviously, you've done it. There's a few on here who have done this. You'll have a high ticket, a mid ticket, a low ticket. Your prices will totally vary based on your confidence level, what your model is like. But I don't care if you're a boot camp, a CrossFit, a semi-private, a small group, a large group, a one-on-one studio. You should have your versions of high, mid, and low, period. Some of you need to do this, okay? Some of you might need help to build out offers. We have a system to do something like that. We'll teach you how to build those offers out, integrate them into your business, sell, fulfill, and renew it. I don't want to ruin a surprise, and Craig, you don't even know it, but we're going to do a big Black Friday thing on that. So I don't want to announce it, but guys, this thing's going to be like 50% off. So if for those of you who need it, I don't think I can get that link. Maybe I have to exit out of this thing. Yes, I do. But I'm going to copy and paste that in there. So you can get 15 or 20 minutes with Craig. It's going to ask you what your model is and this and that. He'll help you build out your offers. And if you want, if you had questions about doing this with us over 8 weeks, he'd be happy to share that with you. And Craig, if you can get that in the Facebook group, those watching in the Facebook Live, that'd be great for them to see it. But anyways, so make sure you're playing a winnable game. You can reduce the amount of leads you need by half or a quarter with the front end offers. Okay. Number 2 is the paid lead strategy. So right now, I want to see how much are you guys spending per day roughly on paid ads? Put in 0 if you're not spending. Some of you aren't running paid ads, and that's okay. But I just want to get a bit of a pulse on it. 0, 0, 0. I think right now I've got about 40 a day per location, maybe more, just depending on what location it is and what phase we're in right now. 75 to 100. I think in some of them, they might be closer to 50 a day is where I'm at. And it doesn't really matter where you're at as long as you're getting the return on ad spend. So we can be all over the place. Is anybody running anything else other than just direct call to action ads? As in like, hey, here's my shit, buy it. Probably not. Okay. So this is where we have made some changes. Smarter ad strategies, which is beyond just a, hey, buy my shit. Because it's kind of my opinion. First of all, a lot of us run the same damn offers forever. The 6-week challenge offer has been run by billions of gyms on the planet for years and years and years. Now, sometimes something simple like that can smoke it in the right markets. Maybe nobody else has done it in your market. Sometimes, and keep in mind that if you're in an area that is like a small big town or more of a rural area or something like that, doesn't have tons of competitors, chances are you can roll in there with paid ads and do some damage because it's so new, nobody's seen it. But a lot of us are in markets where people have seen that stuff for years and it doesn't have the same effect. They're also being bombarded with ads everywhere. Everybody's competing. So this is why we just don't get any responses. And quite often, this is interruption marketing. They're scrolling. Oh, okay, maybe I'll do that, right? But it's not necessarily interrupting them when they're looking for a solution, right? They're searching for something, they're looking for a solution. Google AdWords is pretty good for that. You can get them when they're looking for a solution. Facebook, Instagram, Meta, it's not. That's not what it is. You're interrupting them with whatever they're doing. So a lot of times we have to warm them up a little bit. They have to see you multiple times rather than just your offer. Sometimes if it's just your offer, you run into what you guys are running into, where it's like they'll put in the lead, but they don't want to book, or they'll book and not show. And so here's what we're moving to with smarter paid ad strategies that we've been doing over the last several months. So video through play ads. You can run direct call to action ads where you're tracking conversions. Hey, here's how many people clicked on it. Here's where they went, right? And then here's how many people opted in. Then here's how many people booked. And here's how many people showed. And here's how many people you closed, right? So video through play ads, they're cheaper. You can just take your phone. This is just my case, but you can just take your phone, record a video, and get out to people in a 5-mile radius or whatever you choose for incredibly cheap. For somebody to watch a through play, which I think is technically now 15 seconds, correct me if I'm wrong, Matt, it counts as a through play. Somebody actually watched your video for 15 seconds. Counts as a through play. That can be as cheap. If your video is good, that can be as cheap as 1 cent to have somebody watch 15 seconds of your ad, which is pretty crazy. So if you look on some of these, here's some of mine. Okay. So what is my budget? We're spending like $10 a day on this. Okay. We've got them running. This ad account has these 4 locations on it. And see this cost per through play right here? This is 1 cent to reach somebody. This one's 2, this one's 1, this one's 5 cents. Okay. So that's really neat. Now, what this won't do is track conversions. Like if it goes to a landing page, I can't track it through here. But the thing is Facebook will give you such a massive discount to do this, as opposed to only running direct call to actions. This is really cheap for me to get somebody's attention for 15 seconds. And what we have to do, Matt, you're on this call, you talk about all the time, is as gym owners, we're so used to the immediate, like, hit me with these leads, man. Give me these cheap leads. But guys, that's not always working out. This might not always get you the direct leads, but it's going to warm them up. And it's going to build an audience, right? And then what you do is you take your direct call to action leads and retarget to that audience. By doing that, they're already familiar with you. They've already maybe watched a video or 2, and then you're coming at them. They know a little bit about you. So in one of these, we came out with, we have scripts that we gave out earlier in the Gym Owner Freedom group. We're happy to do that. But it's just like, hey, you might know of us. We're right down the street. We're in this neighborhood. Here's what you do. Here's what we serve, right? Here's what you can expect, right? Those kind of things. Doesn't have to be much. And you're building this audience, and then you can retarget that audience with your offers, with your direct call to action. Okay. So that can be more effective. It warms them up. It gets them more familiar, especially if you create several different versions. And the cool thing, though, is you can still get leads from this, because there's no reason at the end of that video you can't have a call to action. You can just make it really passive. We're here. We'd love to stop in, meet you, or blah, blah, blah. Feel free to click on our website. You can get a free session, or whatever you do, right? And you can just leave that at the end. So here's the cool thing, is I'm also getting link clicks. Now, this was a different one. I've got a lot of different stuff, right, that we've been trying. This one wasn't as hot. It got a really low impression rate, but we had a higher cost per click, except at this location where it was only $3 to go to the website or the landing page or wherever I want them to go. We've had others where it was between like low $3 to get somebody to our website. That's pretty good. You'll get leads from that. It won't be tracked in here, but you could also run them to a separate landing page if you want and really track. But the bottom line is it doesn't always have to be offer, 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 offer. You guys know Gary Vaynerchuk, right? It's the jab, 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 left hook or right hook or whatever it is. Same kind of thing. Let them know who you are, what you're about, and then go. So you can do a general one about you. You can do another one with some testimonial videos. So now you're showing, hey, here's who we are. Here's what we do. Here's why we do it. Then don't take it from me. Take it from John, right? Who's down 20 pounds. But more importantly, it's him talking that he's got his virility back. You know what I mean? It's just, he's excited to be in. He's got more energy, all that kind of stuff. He can play with his kids. He's doing better at work. Awesome. Then you can do your retargeting ads. So not going just for the jugular can be a really good thing. So that's those video through play ads, right? And then you're going to retarget that audience with direct call to action ads. I mean, really, depending on what market and how good your ads are being run, you can get $7 to $60 cost per lead or higher, right? My markets are different, like I mentioned. So direct call to action ads, there is no one winning formula. Different offers, different headlines, different things work. And I don't care what you're putting out there in the ether into the internet. You can sell whatever it is, right? Whatever program yours is. Your high ticket program, whatever it's called. It's our accelerator program, transformation program, where we just have our workouts only, right? Doesn't matter what you're actually selling, but it's kind of like how you're packaging it, how you're wrapping it up and putting it out there. So this is something where like an awesome campaign could work well here, and it might fall flat somewhere else. So in this case, let's see. I've got a couple locations I think I selected on this one. These are examples of ones where it's a little bit lower cost per lead. But do you see, these are cost per call to action leads. You see how many there are? And it's because test, 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 test. And what it is you'll test a couple different, 2-3 different ads, whatever it is. And what you're going to do is the ones that win, shut off the old ones, take the winners and add maybe a different graphic or a headline or copy. Test those. Take the winners and keep doing the same thing. Okay. The set it and forget it. And like this 6-week thing will work forever everywhere ain't going to be happening. You're going to have to constantly test that. So you can see the cost per result on some of these. Look, $49, not good. Shut that shit off. Right. And you can see how $42, $52, $25, $17, but you keep testing the winners and fine tuning it. So you can see with these campaigns going on there, right? There's $13, $13, $13, $9, $23, right? And you just keep doing that to drive those things down. It's math. You just got to put it out and see what works. But you can't just put it up, hope and pray, and it's all going to work out. Facebook can be really finicky with this stuff. A lot of it just comes down to luck and testing, you know? But if we look at some of the ones that win, it's not the pretty shit that always wins either. You know, if we look at something like this, let's pop it open. You know, fitness isn't one size all, especially after 45. We know that your goals are unique, and as life changes, so should your blah, blah, blah. But it's this graphic image. You know, we're looking for 20 locals, ages 45 and up in Glendale, Arrowhead to join our Thrive After 45 personal training program to manage like it's just you'd never think that would work, but it can work, right? So you just got to test. You got to test. You got to test. Let's open up another one that's doing pretty well. So it calls out in the Arrowhead Glendale residents, ages 45 and up. This one's for you. And it's a photo of, you know, some guys in there, right? And that's it. You never know what's going to hit in your area. So this one, some of these were like Thrive After 45. And who are we targeting? Like 45 to 55 on it. Some people run Fit After 40 ads or Fit After 50. My DM feed is getting hit up with a marketer with that. That could work. It might not work. A Thrive After 35, a Fit Over 50. Matt, I think one of yours, was it a Fit After 50 or a Fit After 60 one that you just hit pay dirt on one of yours and you didn't expect it either? I can't remember. But you just got to test. It's just math and you got to look at it. So, but if you run the video through plays 60s, Fit After 60s, and you did well in one of your locations, but not in your other, it didn't hit like the same way in other locations. So there's no rhyme or reason. You just got to throw it out and see what happens. And you should have a few bullets in the chamber for like, okay, we're going to run this, we're going to run this, we're going to run this. Now with my gyms, because we're more expensive and we want to attract the dream clients who can afford this, it's a lifestyle thing. They're not going to be in and out in 3 months. We generally want to get the 40 and ups. They're more stable, right? They just want to show up and be told what to do, all that kind of stuff. We want those people. We don't necessarily want people who are 26 years old in ours. The ones who really want it, they'll find us, but we don't want to spend our marketing dollars on somebody who's 26 years old necessarily. Now, if you're a really cool cardio kickboxing gym, right, that attracts that, maybe that's who you want to advertise to. So be cognizant of who you're targeting, the mile radius, what the ages are. So that's really important. Lead show rates. So the good thing is if you warm them up with video through plays, and then you also have testimonial ads. They know who you are, what you do, why you do it. Hey, why don't you hear from somebody who looks and sounds like you and how they benefited? You're going to get warmer people on average. That being said, Meta ads will still serve up a fresh plate of dog shit pretty much all the time. Okay. It's just part of it. There's only so much you can do. So, I mean, I always have to have my operators and GMs reset their expectations. Matt put in there, what was it, Matt? 5 to 8% of the leads coming in from Meta that somebody actually closes. That's low. That's 5 to 8 people out of 100. And that's pretty average. That's pretty average. So you got to reset those expectations. You got to know that you got to sift through a lot to find a few golden nuggets. This is the reason why you need high, mid, and low ticket offers. If you have a low ticket offer, damn, this math might not work for you. It's really challenging. So that's why that's number one. We talked about that. But lead show rates. CRM. You guys all have CRMs, right? That will automate stuff to get to them right away. There is that can do some of it, but everybody has robots doing that stuff, and everybody knows it's robots. That is often not enough. It's going to take human calls, and it's going to take audio notes, and it's going to take leaving voice messages. That sucks, but that's life. I wish it weren't so, but it's very, very important. We're constantly testing and tweaking and trying to improve our automations and messages. Sometimes we're a little bit slow on it, but the main thing is you got to put personality in there. Maybe put some humor in there. Show them that you're a person and not a robot at some point. Really important things to actually get them to come in. But speed to lead, speed to lead, speed to lead. Easier said than done. But if it's not you, you need to have some protocols. You need to have some scripts. Sometimes people won't do it because they don't know what to say or how to leave a voice message. That should be written out for them. That should be written out for them. You want to test different things. You might want to send them a video message or an MMS just with a funny image, right? Something that can get a response and show that you're not just a boring business that they really don't want to come to anyways. That's what you need to do to break through. Another big thing that people miss all the time, and I was going to show you this, and I found out one of my guys didn't do it either. Okay. Sometimes you can pick off just as many new clients from the people who like your ad or comment on your ad. It's just, and if you've never done it, you're missing out. Now, if you've ever run paid ads, you also know people are the biggest assholes in the comment section. So just hide those or delete them or whatever. Don't even waste your breath responding. Like, they are assholes. But look at this. So you can go into your Facebook profile, hit the Meta Messenger or whatever it is, their Meta Business Suite, go to your inbox, go to Facebook comments. You can see your ad. Okay. You can also see when people comment on it. So how much does it cost? Sometimes these are absolute tire kickers. Absolute tire kickers. Sometimes they're really damn good leads. Kevin, who runs my Glendale location, just ripped out 2 from the comment section. And also check the likes too. The people that liked it. Now this is a newer ad, so it's the newest ad, so there's not much on it. My mom was one of them. So Brenda Carpenter's my mom. So obviously we're not gonna be hitting her up. But anybody who likes it, shoot them a message. Hey, thank you so much. Like, my mom's biggest supporter. You guys are laughing, but she literally likes it. It's embarrassing. Anytime I post them, she's like, "Good job, son. We're so proud of you." I'm like, cramping my style here, Mom. But liking and comment. So it's the RAFO framework. Dave teaches this phenomenally. It's reach out, acknowledge them. Hey, thanks so much for this or that, or for liking this or commenting, whatever, and ask a fitness related question, right? And then what you can do from a comment there, you turn it into a quick 5 to 10 minute discovery call. And if there's interest, invite them in. So there's a lot that's here. And yeah, Matt, thank you. The more engagement on these ads, the more reach. So the more people are commenting on these things, the more it'll get out there, the more it'll show some social proof. Again, just block the ones who are horrible and nasty and all that kind of stuff. But there's a lot to do in here. Okay. So always look at that. Always respond back to that. The weirdest thing, people are so damn weird. You ever get the ones who just put interested in it? They just write interested, comment interested. It's like, it tells you exactly what to, go to the thing and put your information in there. It just blows my mind, but that's the world. So play the game, get in there. That can get you an extra 2 across the board for a lot of you in a month. Okay. So you got to program that into your day or whoever's responsibility is for. We talked about this consistent ad testing. An offer that hits for me might totally fall flat in your market. So you just got to test, make data-driven decisions, and the ones that are getting some traction, the ones that are getting the lowest cost per lead, take that, create a couple variations and split test it and just keep it going. Okay. And the power of list building. So yes, some people are not going to, a lot of people are not going to book. A lot of people are going to not show. This is where organic comes into play from paid. The great thing about paid, even if you're not getting the immediate clients now, you're building a list. So you're building a retargeting audience for everybody that's watching through plays. That's great. Okay. But when they give you their information, their email and their phone number, even though they don't answer you, they're on your list. And if you're doing a good job organically, you can get them in 2-3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now. And as we've really kind of kicked up some of these strategies, we're getting people in that the constantly showing, like the email or then us constantly showing up in their Facebook feed was the final straw and tipped them. So at the 7th Street location, Ron brought in somebody who's said she's been driving by her place and this and that. She's been contemplating it for like a year and a half. And we just kept appearing everywhere. And she finally did it and she got in. So think about the long play of marketing, not just the short term. You got to think a little bit broader. So that's where, and again, but like, I know there's a lot of dog crap leads on Meta ads, but some of them are golden. Not many, but some of them are golden and will buy a high ticket program. They'll buy your highest. Like this is Jared. He's one of our best sales guys. And that's been through our high ticket launch program where we teach you how to sell the living crap out of that. He was one of our most successful ones. Dave, what did he do in new business in his first or second month? Was it?
He cracked 40K in new business, I believe, was like 40 to 45.
Yeah, in new business, which was nuts from a CrossFit gym, believe it or not. You know what I mean? It's not like you're in a personal training gym either. But a lot of their leads were coming in from Facebook as well. So, like in here, he says, when they started turning it on and testing it on $400 of ad spend, he brought in 15K. He probably sold 3 5Ks. His other one was what? 3K, I think his mid ticket was 3K, something like that.
Yeah, that's correct.
But I mean, obviously he's great at sales, and that's results not typical. Can we put that in there? But, you don't need that either. So, this is where like you're building this list. This is where we have a lot of crossover with organic marketing. So what do you guys do for organic marketing? Rate yourselves out of 0 to 10. Organic marketing, you're like a 10 out of 10 if you have, all your scheduled posts ahead of time, emails with calls to action connected to your CRM. You have content that goes out, 5 days a week. You're using your personal profile because that gets way better reach than your business, your personal brand. I don't really see people rank themselves higher than a 3 typically on something like this. And the emails going out. Look with my gym operators, we got a lot of work to do here. The people that do the work see big results. You fall behind on it, you don't do it. It's iffy. It's iffy at best. But organic stuff. Okay, so let's start beyond content and emails. Obviously, you need a decent website with a good call to action, right? You want to do things that boost SEO over time. You want to, a lot of it's Google related, right? So you want to post on your Google business profile, make sure that looks really good. Reviews, getting Google reviews, bump this up definitely. Okay. Yes, there are business to business plays that we can do. We're not going to cover all that today. There's community outreach and doing, different things, all over the community and giving speeches or whatever. There's all those things you can do. But let's focus a little bit more on your email list that you're building and SMS along with it, and also what you're doing on social media. Now, you need stuff on there for your business. Reach is super low on your business. Facebook just wants you to pay for stuff. You need it on there because when you run ads, you're going to want to show that you're relevant, right? But what goes beyond that is your personal brand on social media. That gets out to your friends, your neighbors, the people in your area. If you are friending your clients and getting followers from your clients, it's going to get out to their friends. And when they interact, when they share something, when you post on their wall, it gets out to their neighbors, their family, their coworkers, you name it. Very important. So doing it through your personal brand is way more effective when it comes to that. But the cool thing is you can kind of overlap your social media strategy and your email strategy too, if you're really organized. And EPDO content framework. So this is where this is kind of like a protocol that you can follow. And the E, remind me, what's the E again, Dave? I can't even think of it right now. I'm losing my brain. Educate. Thank you. Educate. So this is where you can kind of indoctrinate them into a program or what you do, why you do it, one of your methods, right? And then personalize. This is where you can show how it's affected, how it's gotten results for you in your life or changed your life or something like that. Demonstrate is where you bring in social proof. And this is where you can highlight how this has worked for a client, right? And then offer. That's making an offer. It can be a direct offer, right? Hey, we're looking for 5 people for this. It can be an indirect offer, right? There's different ways you can do it. But if you follow that kind of framework and you post consistently and you can use the same framework to make your emails, you're going to be in a really good spot. Organic marketing, first of all, your paid will build your email list and that's going to get out to somebody. So they might have gotten on there, put in their information, they blank you, but it comes time for February and then they're ready. And they have been reading some of your emails. They've been seeing how it's been working for other people. And then they're finally ready to make a change. You got them. If you're not doing that, you don't got them. So the paid ads will have a long-term effect if you're doing the organic stuff with it. But your personal on your Facebook, on your Instagram can go really, really far. Some of our best people crush it on that one. That is going to be manual work. And it is not going to give you the same amount of leads as Facebook, but those leads are way hotter. They are way, way, way warmer. When somebody's been reading your posts and connecting with you as a person, seeing what you do and how you work with other people, and when you make an offer and they put their hand up, man, they're hot. They know exactly what you do, why you do it, who you work with, and they want it. They will be high ticket clients. You're never going to drive in 100 leads a month with that. No freaking way. Unless you're training a celebrity, when they share your stuff, but you don't need it. If you can rip out 2, 3, 4 high ticket clients a month from your personal stuff, and it's a high ticket, that moves the needle like crazy. And there is zero reason to do it other than A, you don't know what to do to make it effective, or B, you're just not planning far enough ahead. Like you've got to do it because in some areas, Facebook or Google AdWords, like it sucks. It just does. And you can't rely solely on it. You can't rely solely on it. And even if you do, there's no reason not to do this. So this is, we always plan out in hand, like in our PT Legends program, we do the done for you content and give it to everybody, right? So we give it to you. You can either copy and paste it. You should, in theory, and the people who can see the best results on it, take it and they make it speak to the avatar or just put it in their words, right? But you'll take like 5 posts a week and bam, run with it. And here's what can be done. So Shannon did this for 2 weeks. This was like March 1st to the 15th. And she went 3 for 3 on her PCs, which is a perfect consultation. And in the comments, she put 4 for 4 with the 5th consult coming up this week. That's awesome. Her high ticket program and what she sold all 4 of those on were $3,500. That's $14,000 in new business in 2 weeks. I don't know where she ended up with it, but it's pretty damn high. But I think we would all take that. It's worth it to do this. It's absolutely worth it to do this. But it gets engagement, it gets comments. It just works, right? You just got to know what to do and how to game that system. Corey's putting out things where he's getting 57 comments. These are interactions. These are people interacting with you. They're going to see all your other stuff as soon as they interact with it. And you do Dave's framework. Dave, what is that?
Talking Rafa?
Yeah, talking Rafa. What do you, so like Corey Willis, he puts out, if your favorite food was 0 calories and you would never gain weight from eating it, what would you choose? And at whatever point, he said 57 comments on it. Like, what do you do with that? Like, people are liking or commenting. What do you do with that to turn it into a lead?
Yeah, most people, I like to say, they're a little bit too horny for the sell, so they tighten up and they don't know what that initial message is. So I call it, what would you say to someone that you saw in line at Starbucks? So like the R, like treat people like they're human beings. So just like go in there, like send an audio note, just say, thank you so much. Like I was just checking in to see like your favorite 0 calorie food is the Arctic Zero. I think it tastes like crap. I'm glad you like it. So like have fun with the process. Like there's no like magical script, make it your own, build the relationship. The A stands for acknowledge. So that's where you just have some small talk and then they're going to see that you're a fitness professional. So F stands for the fitness part of the question. So that's where like a lot of the times they'll bring it up. If they don't bring it up after you've built a little bit of rapport with them, you can slide that in there. Oh, I see that you have, 2 young girls. Like, what are you doing for your fitness? Then from there, because I didn't slide into their DMs, hey, do you need help with your fitness? They're going to be so much more inclined to have a conversation. Then from there, it's just the simple offer. Hey, I own a studio right down the street from you. I want to come in for a free week. So the biggest takeaway, though, is just treat people like they're human beings. Have fun with the process. Treat them like they're human beings, just because no one else in their DMs are treating them like human beings.
Yeah. Yeah. We're all just robots putting out ads and having automations, right? You need the human aspect on this. Making a human connection makes all the difference in today's world when there's no human connection. Everybody's assholes out there. You know what I mean? I'm a huge fan of sending audio notes. It's faster. I can put personalization. You guys have probably gotten them from me. I can communicate way faster and bring my personality into it and show I actually give a shit about you. And nobody else is going to do that. But it's actually really easy. And again, you don't need 20 leads a month from this, guys. It's so much more powerful. So do this. And this is free. This is free. If you don't have a good budget for paid ads, whatever, you can do this. You just got to learn it, right? And that done for you content works magic on it. And then all you got to do is be a human being to these people. So reach out, ask a question, right? Acknowledge, then ask a fitness related questions and make an offer. And we do a discovery call, right? Hop on the phone for 5-10 minutes, see if you can help them out. Then invite them in, you're good to go. So the big thing too is we're just not on top of our stuff. You need a 12-month marketing plan, right? You need what you're doing on the organic side. You need what you're doing on the paid side, right? If you don't really have all this stuff there and you don't know what big promotions you're going to do, you're always behind. You miss out on that, right? And you want different stages on paid, right? You want your video through plays, who you are, into a testimonial, then indirect call to action, right? On the organic side, you need to know what offers and plays you're doing, right? You can do a new year, new you organic play. It's, there's different funnels. We have playbooks and exactly what to do, right? How do you take this personal audience, right, and run a promotion on there to sign up 5 or 10 people? I call this the 10K weekend playbook because I've used it several times for people who needed money and they brought in on average 10K from running totally on their personal social media. The plays, there's the scripts, there's the photos that you do, right? The email copy, the text message copy, and you just knock it out. But you can do a lot of damage on that, guys. But we're just always behind on marketing. A, because we're uncomfortable with it. B, we don't know what works. And C, it can be time consuming. And I know we're coming up on the hour, so I wanted to ask you guys about this because I was thinking about doing it, but I don't want it. It's going to be a lot of work. So I wanted to see if there's enough interest first. But I may run, and I don't know how long it would be. Maybe it's 4 sessions, maybe it's 8 sessions, maybe it's a week or 2. But I do know that in Q4, this is when you want to get your 2025 marketing plan out there. Completely when you want to get it out there. So I was thinking about doing a paid ad and organic workshop because there's obviously to build out 12 months of this and get it all planned out and know exactly what you're going to do. It's a lot. So if you, I'm going to copy this. If Craig, you can get on the Facebook one, there's a form. I'm not going to do it if it's like 3 or 4 of you. It'll be a lot of work, but if it's more of you, I may run this where, I don't know, it'll be 4 or 8 weeks or 4 or 8 sessions or something like that. But the goal of it is we're going to build out your entire 2025 marketing plan. Some of you, I don't know where you're at too. So I only asked a couple questions. What are you most interested in learning? Is it the high, mid, low ticket offer? So you need fewer leads. Is it running paid ads more effectively? Is it organic? And you can check all of them. Or is it something else? Because I want to put in there what you need. Okay. And then also, I don't know, some of you use people to run your ads. Some of you do it yourself. Some of you would want to hire somebody. Some of you wouldn't. So do I want to include the technical stuff on how to set up and run your ads or not? I don't know. So answer that. And if there's anything else like you'd like to get out of this, if you'd like to share, put it in there. If there's enough interest, I'll probably run something like that. So fill out the form. Don't worry, we're not going to hassle you. I'm not going to text you only if we decide to launch it or if I got a question for you based on your answers. But yeah, you guys let me know if it's something that you want to do. Other than that, what else do I have to announce? Next Thursday. So we were running these on Thursdays, 12 p.m. PST, 3 p.m. PST forever. We switched it to Tuesdays. That ended up sucking for your guys' schedules. So we will move it back to Thursdays, 12 p.m. PST, where we come on live every week to teach you something. Next week is Thanksgiving, so we're not going to do it on Thanksgiving, and you have Black Friday right behind you. So we're going to resume this in 2 weeks. But if there's anything you need or you'd be interested in me running something like that, just fill out that form so I know. And if there's enough interest, I will do it.
Thanks for listening, everyone. If you are ready to start making an extra $10,000 a month or more this month by making more money with less clients and create a consistent flow of high-quality leads, you can learn about what it's like to work with me and how ridiculously affordable it is at CoachScottCarpenter.com. And if you got any value out of this episode, please pay it forward and leave a review for this show. It helps other gym owners find the answers to the huge problems that we all share. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.